Hi, all. So we're back today with another Springsteen lesson. Today we'll be looking at Jungleland, which is off of Bruce's 1975 masterpiece, Born to Run. So this song isn't too difficult. There's a lot of bar chords in it, so beware if you don't aren't familiar with some of the bar chord shapes like major seven shapes and things like that. You might have something to learn here, but otherwise it's actually a pretty easy tune to play. But like Backstreets, there's a lot of sections and a lot to kind of memorize, and just a lot to learn in general. Just the rhythm and the feel of the song changes throughout, and there's a guitar solo, of course, played by Little Steven Van Zandt. So I'll go over that as well, but I will go over all of the rhythm parts, including the very long and extremely classic, emotional, and beautiful saxophone solo. We'll go over that, all the chords within that part of the song. So let's jump into it. It's in standard tuning. And if my voice gives out at any point in this video, I just want you to know that it's just because the Buffalo Bills just made the playoffs for the first time in 17 years. So I'm a little bit excited right now, and I think I damaged my voice a little bit yelling at the TV. So if my voice starts cracking, that's why. I'm not 15 years old. I'm well past that. Yeah, it's not the puberty voice cracks. So anyways, let's jump into the song. Here we go. So most of the song is in C. Now, Roy Bittan does his awesome piano intro along with Bruce's vocals. There's no guitar in there. There's a cool violin on the album version, which, by the way, I'm basing this lesson, this tutorial, primarily on the album version, because really the only thing that changes in a live setting would be the guitar solo, which Little Steven Van Zandt plays differently every time they play it. But anyways, jumping into the song, we're in C here. It sounds better throughout the song to play a C bar chord rather than a C open chord, at least in my ear. So I would play it like this. You can also play it up here with that 8th fret low E string root bar chord, or, like I said, I would stick with the 3rd fret A string root C bar chord throughout the song. So you kind of do a nice open strum when they face off against each other out on the street. Down in Jungleland, right? When he says land, you come in with the C chord. I actually play that one up here, right? Do some nice strums on that chord. It's really dramatic, and it's a great start to when the band comes into the song after Bruce and Roy start the song off. So now we're getting to I can't even call this like the verse, because the verse keeps changing throughout the course of the song. So I'm just going to refer to it as section 1 from a guitar perspective, and I'm going to kind of tie everything together in this song according to the lyrics. So this is when Bruce says, "The midnight gangs assemble," he's playing this. Okay, so what that is C major, G major, F major, G major. And he plays that progression 8 times. You're going to have to listen to the song, and it's one of those songs kind of like Backstreets where you just sort of have to match the lyrics with the chord progression to know where you are in the song. So again, C, G, F, G. And I'm playing my F and my G kind of like Hendrix would play it, with my thumb over on that, grabbing that bass note. Just makes the chord change a lot easier, and you're back to that C major, which, like I said earlier, is probably the way you want to play. It's more rocking sounding. Like, here, let me kick on some distortion, and I'll show you what I mean. See what I mean? So that's how I play it. It does that 8 times, like I said. Listen to the song for the specific rhythms, but shouldn't be too hard to pick up. Now, after that section of the song is over, and Bruce says, "The streets alive as secret debts are paid," he plays a D minor chord. He goes. Kids flash guitars just like switchblades. Okay, so this progression happens 4 times. D minor, C major, F major, C major. Sorry, that last chord is G major, not C major. So D minor, C major, F major, G major. So the rhythm is like this. You get the idea. So that progression 4 times. Now we get into the kind of the build up right before the guitar solo when Bruce says, "The hungry and the hunted." He goes to just strums a B flat chord once. And he strums a really quick C chord before going to a D minor. So he goes like this. The hungry and the hunted explode into rock and roll bands. Go back down to the C after playing that D minor. Strum the B flat again. They face off against each other out in the street. That's that lyric at that point in the song. And he goes down, in, D minor. Jungle. That's F, C major. Right before the guitar solo. You can play it up here as well. Actually, I would play it up here because the guitar solo starts up here. Okay. So that is all the rhythm parts that I consider to be before the guitar solo. In a live setting, it's actually Little Steven Van Zandt that's playing this, because usually Bruce, particularly on older versions of this song, was focused on just singing, actually. So that's Little Steven Van Zandt playing a lot of the rhythm parts of this song, and he played a Strat live, so it's important. Springsteen plays a Tele. Little Steven Van Zandt typically plays a Strat. So if you want to get close to the tone of this song, if you have a Stratocaster, you're really in great shape. So anyways, let's jump into the solo now. I'll kick on my distortion. I'll play it once a little bit slower than full speed, and I'll go through it one more time clean. Kind of like I did for the Backstreets video that I just filmed yesterday. You can watch it and figure it out for yourself. If you're an intermediate guitar player, I'll be playing it slowly, so you should be able to pick it up from what I'm playing, and just use your eyes and your ears to learn the solo. It's really not too bad. It has some repeating licks in it. So let's jump into it here. Again, you build up to it with that C chord, and it sounds like this. Okay, so there's a lot of different variations, ways he plays it. I hit one bum note in there, so I will play it again, and I'll play it much more slowly and with a clean tone so you can really make out the notes. He starts with this kind of Chuck Berry lick here. Right? That's at the 8th, bending up the 10th fret to the 12th, full step bend, just hitting the top 2 strings there at the 8th fret. So that's where he starts. He works his way up to this little box. It's all in that box, really. A lot of the solo. There's a few little licks outside of it, but if you know your area around if you know your way around the neck, you should be able to figure the solo out relatively easily. So anyway, here it is again, slowly. Okay, so that is a guitar solo that Little Steven Van Zandt plays. I'm assuming on the album, but definitely plays that live. There's that little part that I'll show you actually. There's kind of a harmony guitar that I hear on the album version. In the recording, I hear a couple guitar tracks playing at once. So you can kind of mimic it by playing it like this. That's 17 and 18. 17 on the high E, 18 on the B. 15 and 17. 17 on the B, 15 on the high E. And then 13 and 15, 13 on the high E, 15 on the B. So you're playing those shapes after you play that sort of repeating lick up here in sort of the second half of the solo. So after the solo, the band and Little Steven Van Zandt, the guitarist, jumps right back in with the B flat chord when Bruce says, "In the parking lot, the visionaries." That's that lyric. So parking lot, the visionaries, F, C, G minor, B flat, F, C, B flat, F, C, G minor, B flat, C. So one more time. So the only new chord in there that we haven't seen before in the song is a G minor. Okay, so you kind of hold on that C after playing that section of the song, and it goes right in the saxophone solo after that, and it's a total change of keys, because now we're going to be working in E flat. So let's jump right in the sax solo. It starts in E flat. Kind of just strum it. A flat. E flat again. It's an A flat major 7. Up to a B flat. E flat. E flat major 7. A flat. E flat. A flat major 7, A flat major, B flat major, E flat, B flat, E flat, B flat. Okay, so one more time, let me play that full speed. I'll consider this the first part of the sax solo. There's kind of like, I guess we'll say like 4 different sections to the saxophone solos, just to help you when you're learning this, and when I'm explaining it right now, we're going to call it 4 different sections. So this is the first section played a little bit closer to full speed. Here we go. Okay, so the new and kind of maybe unusual chords to you in there. This is an A flat major 7. It's very similar to a C minor chord, but that low note's an A flat note, which is the 4th fret on the low E string. I play the chords in this part kind of like I played earlier, the Hendrix way, because I've played guitar for a long time, and my hands still get tired from holding all those bar chords, and it's far more easy for me to reach my thumb over and grab it. It's just less tiring on my hands. but ultimately whatever works for you. You could play it like this as well. It's 4, 5, 5, 4. That's an A flat major 7. Any other kind of weird chord in there, maybe you don't know if you're a beginner or even some intermediate players. An E flat major 7. It's a really nice jazz chord. It's 6, 8, 7, 8. Okay, so that is the first part of the saxophone solo. Again, this is where the saxophone really is the highlight of the song. So obviously if you're in a band or even when you're playing along to the recording, you're really just letting those chords, you're just strumming them and letting them ring out. When the band kicks in towards the end of that section, you could have a little bit more freedom and a little bit more room and space within the song to come in and start strumming and kind of jamming along to it. But really make sure that those chords are impactful and just strum them and let them ring. So jumping into the next section of the solo, it goes, it's E flat to E flat major 7, C minor, B flat, C minor, B flat, A flat major 7 to B flat up here, A flat, B flat, E flat, B flat, E flat, B flat. Okay, that's kind of part 2. Let's do that one more time. It's E flat to E flat major 7, C minor, B flat, C minor, B flat, A flat major 7, B flat major, A flat major 7, B flat major, E flat, B flat, E flat, B flat. Okay, so that is the second section of the saxophone solo. That's when the band comes back into the song and it's not just like the saxophone and piano. Now you can hear the full band playing along, and Max and the drums are also back in the mix. So now we're on to part 3 of the saxophone solo, which this chord section repeats twice. So it's a longer chord section again, but this is the same. It's the same thing is played twice. So here's the thing. Here is the section and the chord progression that's played twice. It's E flat major 7, same start as the other one. C minor, hold on C minor, keep holding it. A flat major 7, up to B flat, A flat major 7, B flat, E flat, B flat, E flat, B flat. Okay, and what I just played, play that one more time exactly the same way. So you can see how all the progressions are similar, and it's always starts on an E flat chord, but just where it goes from there, use your ear and use what I just showed you to figure out the exact chord progressions and the rhythms that go along with it. And that just comes from listening to and knowing the song really well. So next we get into, I'll call this section 4 of the saxophone solo. And it's a very short section. It's kind of, I guess you can call it almost like the outro of the saxophone solo, if that makes sense. The end of the saxophone solo, that's a better way of phrasing it. It goes, you strum an A flat major chord, strum a C minor chord, and I go right after that. It's like the last note of the saxophone solo, and which is really dramatic and kind of holds, right? It holds for probably 5 seconds or something. I play a G power chord or a G5 chord. 3, 5, 5, low E, A, D string. And just let that ring. And then at that point, Roy Bittan takes over on piano, and the band and the guitar goes away for a while. And we enter the kind of the last part and last section of the song. So that is a saxophone solo. Rewind it, watch it again, and play along the recording because you really need to on this one. There's a lot of chords in there, but if you listen to it, you should be able to pick it up. It's not too difficult from a rhythmic standpoint. Okay, so now I don't really hear a lot of guitar parts for the rest of the song. That's pretty much all the guitar parts. But what I like to play at the end of the song is I like to kind of mirror Gary W. Tallent's bass parts. I think it sounds cool, and I'm just usually standing there when listening to the song, which is obviously a joy because it's Jungleland. So, no complaints from me, just standing there listening to it. But I like to add a little something at the end of it. When the song starts building up again, you can hear the bass do this, and I'm just going to play this. You can rewind and watch how I play it. But you're starting on on a C note. After he says, down in Jungleland, like when he really builds it up at the end, like when he's saying it really slowly and the band kicks back in and Roy's doing that really fast piano work, you can hear Gary Talent playing this. He goes... The song ends on a C major chord. So, that is all the sections of Jungleland. For the 10th time, rewind and watch all those chord parts. There's no really easy way for me to explain it. There's just a bunch of chords that you have to play this song. It's a beautiful one. It's really a standout in his entire discography, but really I think in rock music in general. This song has always been extremely special to me. I think the saxophone solo of this song might be one of my favorite parts of any song ever. Like, I think that 2-minute saxophone solo or however long it is in the middle of it, if I could listen to like one instrumental or one just piece of music for the rest of my life, I really might pick that one because there's just so much emotion in it. I hear joy, I hear hope, I hear despair and sadness and disappointment, and maybe even a little bit of anger and sort of a broken dreams kind of feeling within that saxophone solo. But I also hear a lot of love and a lot of really good feelings within it as well. It's incredibly memorable. Rest in peace, Clarence Clemons. Really an all-time great. And it's clearly his greatest moment as a member of the E Street Band. And I think that you look at the cover of Born to Run and you see Bruce leaning on Clarence Clemons. How perfectly symbolic is that picture for a song like this? Clarence steals the show. And what's the amazing about it is the song itself is absolutely incredible. It's, even without the saxophone solo, it would be an amazing song. Multi-sections. It's probably some of Bruce's best storytelling, pure storytelling. The way it builds in the beginning. And it's very similar to Backstreets, really. It builds up with that really nice intro. It sets the scene. And some of Bruce's best lyrics. The barefoot girl sitting on the hood of a Dodge, drinking a warm beer in the soft summer night. That's probably one of my favorite lyrics I've ever heard. And I'm a music freak. And I think that it's so damn vivid and so damn easy to just put yourself into the story that Bruce is telling. You can picture yourself there. You can see it you can just see it with your eyes. It's like it's right before you. And all you have to do is listen to the song. It's unbelievable. It's just an amazing display on Bruce's part of, again, vivid language and vivid imagery that really rivals only Bob Dylan. From as far as American songwriters go, I don't think there's anyone better than Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen from just their ability to tell stories and write lyrics that are really impactful and memorable, and most importantly, lyrics that people can relate to. An average American can read the lyrics of Jungleland and totally understand what Bruce is saying. And I mean, I don't want to talk about this song forever because I really could. But um, this song could be a movie. Like the rest of Born to Run, it's really cinematic. But this song in particular could be a movie. Yes, it's 9.5 minutes long, but there's so much that happens in the 9.5 minutes. It's unbelievable. It's truly just how much better does it get than this for rock music? I mean, it's everything you want in a rock song and more. And it appeals again to everybody because everyone can take a piece of that song and identify with it. It's kind of about, it's that going into New York City. I can almost picture it in my head as I listen to the intro of that song for one night, and maybe dealing with a little bit of trouble from the cops, or having the kind of a chance at romance for the night, and dealing with maybe like rival street gangs and things like that. There's just so many different little like subplots going on within this song. It's a song. It's not a movie. It's not a short story. It's a song, and there's just like I said, there's an entire plot to it. It's just incredible. There's so much to listen to, and to read the lyrics is just a joy. It's poetry more than anything else. It tells a story, and I don't know how many times I can say this, but it paints a picture, and it just does it so well. And I think the guitar solo is amazing too, because I can almost hear when I hear the guitar solo, I almost can picture a car like flying into New York City, maybe on the Jersey Turnpike or something. Even I can picture a car just going like 80 miles an hour as that guitar solo is playing, and I can picture them in the city after the saxophone solo is over. That beneath the city, two hearts beat. That whole lyric, I can picture being in the city and just maybe having that feeling of heartbreak. It's so goddamn beautiful. I can't say enough about it. It's absolutely my favorite Bruce Springsteen song, and I think it's the best Bruce Springsteen song. There's no discussion from me. I don't even have to think twice about that if anyone ever asks me what is the best Bruce Springsteen song. It's this one, and all the reasons I just said are why. And even those longing like screams at the end of the song that Bruce just lets it out. What a way to end the album. I can't really even think of a better way to end it. It's kind of the harsh reality song of Born to Run, and so is Backstreets to some extent, but this one in particular is a real tragedy. But man, it's a great tragedy, and it's a fascinating listen. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and leave any comments you have about this song or my guitar playing and the content of this lesson below. I've played this song a bunch of times. I've listened to it a lot. I watched actually a video from the band playing it in 1975 at Hammersmith Ballroom in London, and Little Stevie did all the guitar work. Bruce didn't even have a guitar on for the song. He just focused on singing, and he totally spaced out while Clarence was playing the saxophone solo. You could just tell he was just feeling the music in the moment, and goddamn, that was beautiful. It really was. So, watch that video, of course, for reference as well. But everything needs here. So go back, hit rewind, write all those chords down, like you would if you were learning the song Backstreets, and yeah, go from there. Have fun with this one, and thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. There'll be more guitar lessons on the way soon. I'm trying to kind of cover songs that maybe are a little bit harder to find on YouTube, and there's only some resources out there for a song like this. So my goal is to have you, the viewer, be able to play these songs note for note, like I do. And this is the way I play it. I want to stress that. I'm not claiming that this is 100% accurate, but to my ear, it's pretty close. If you play this song in a band or something like that, you could absolutely, the way I just showed you, you could totally kill it in that sense. You wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to tell a difference between this and the E Street Band. I mean, this is exactly the way the band plays it. So, use your ear also, and maybe there's something different. Maybe there's something I'm hearing incorrectly in there. But bottom line, this is the way I play it, and that's really all I have to say about that. So, I appreciate the support, and thank you. Rock on. Bruce Springsteen's amazing. That's all I have to say. Go Bills. Thanks.